Hey there, it's Diane Forster, and welcome to I Have Today, where we talk about the art of intentional living. And I hope you're having a happy today. Today, I've got a very special guest with me today. Our show this week is about how to stand out as a woman in leadership and sales. And this has been a conversation and a topic that's been coming up for me a lot as I have been in the mode of, training mostly women, a few good men too, on how to launch and star in their own TV shows and how to really build an asset and a brand and a platform to stand out as leaders and experts in the world. And so the conversation around women has been coming up a lot because I'm launching a woman only personal development and transformation television network. And so I thought, you know what? The topic's been so hot. I want to bring on an expert in this area, and it's someone I know, love, and trust. And she's had a lot of impact on a lot of lives. Her name is Judy Hoberman, and she's going to be with us in just a few minutes. And so Judy's company is focused on empowering professional women. And she's an international speaker, trainer, coach, author, radio host, mentor, and she's been in the industry for over 30 years. She's got a lot of wisdom that she's going to be sharing with us today. And we're going to talk about how to really stand out and what's the difference between men and women in leadership roles. And how did she become, how did this become her path? Why is she so passionate about that? And so we're going to do that in just a few minutes. But before we bring Judy up and I really share more about her, I want to invite you to stay to the end because I'm going to share some tips and strategies with you about what's going on here within the company. And we're also end every episode with a powerful mantra meditation because this show is about living intentionally. And it's very, very intentional. And what we're going to share today is on how to really stand out. But the best way to make positive, permanent change in your life is through creating habits and rituals that create repetition in your life, because that is truly the way to make change is through repetition. And so we end with a mantra meditation so that we can anchor in everything that we've talked about on this show. And you leave here feeling better, more inspired, more empowered, and moving in inspired action in your life at the end of the show. So make sure you stick around. If you are here for the first time, I want to say welcome to the show. And if you are coming back, I want to say welcome back. And we are streaming live right now on multiple platforms. E360 TV is one of them. We're also on YouTube. We're on LinkedIn. We're on Facebook. And we are on Twitter. If you want to catch the replay of the show, you can find it on those platforms. And all you need to do is search I Have Today with Diane Forster, and you will find me. And if you prefer to listen to podcasts, we actually stream this show as a podcast as well, available on all the streaming platforms. Just look up I Have Today with Diane Forster. All right. So before we get into our interview with Judy, and hello to the new faces I see here in the comments section. Hello, ladies. What we do here every week on this show is we have an intention statement. And that goes back to what I was saying at the beginning. Setting an intention is your way of letting the universe know, letting your mind and subconscious know, and letting the world know what you intend. And when you set an intention, it's like an affirmation, but you're declaring what it is you want. And so we do this every single week. And our intention statement this week is, I have today to stand out as a leader in my career. I have today to stand out as a leader in my career. And you do. You don't need to take a back seat, whether you work in a corporate environment or you're a solopreneur, an entrepreneur, you're running your own business, whatever it is. You are meant to stand out and shine like the bright, beautiful diamond star that you are. And so what we do every week is my team makes the most incredible, beautiful graphics. And there it is right there. If you're watching the show, it says, I have today to stand out as a leader in my career. This you can find on my Instagram page at Diane Forster Official. So hop on over to Instagram. There's a little button called Intention Statements. Go there. And what I want you to do is take a screenshot of this and then use this as your screensaver on your phone for this week. So every time you look at your phone, you get this reminder. It's your reminder. It's your reminder. And how do we create change in the subconscious mind? Repetition, repetition, repetition. So this allows you to keep this top of mind. So go over there and get yours right now. And then let me know what starts to happen for you. Like, did things start happening for you in your career as a leader, the leader that you are? And also, wait, I was just going to say something else about that, and I just lost my thought. Oh, shoot, it was a good thought. Anyway, it'll come back to me. So that's what we do every week. So also, oh, this is what it was. If you're over there on Instagram, give me a follow. That's what it was. So if you're not following me, follow me over there and follow me on all social media platforms because we have tons of resources for you. And you can check out the link in my bio over there and you can subscribe to the show there. You can find out about the podcast there. You can get subscribed to my weekly newsletters and all the exciting things that are happening here at I Have Today. So with that, what we're going to do right now is we're getting ready to have our interview with Judy Hoberman, which is so exciting. But first, we want to hear a word from our sponsor, the Spifter. So take a look and listen to this, and we'll be right back. This week's episode of I Have Today is brought to you by the Spifter. The Spifter is a fun sifting spoon that makes cooking, baking, and decorating with sugars and spices so much fun. No more mess or wasting your spices. It's fast, clean, and easy. Everything looks and tastes delicious. It's also great for straining loose tea, getting pesky broken cork out of your wine glass, and draining liquid off food like olives and capers. Whether you're a novice cook or a gourmet chef, you'll love the results. The Spifter, the kitchen gadget that no kitchen should be without. All right, so we're getting ready to bring Judy up. And first, I want to tell you guys this. The name of her company is Selling in a Skirt. And we are going to talk about that because Judy is famous for her skirts and her jackets. It's one of her signature things. But first, let's watch this video right now, and then she'll be here.
Women want to be treated equally, not identically.
Well, hey, Judy, you're on mute, so unmute yourself. I love that line so much. Women want to be treated equally, not identically. How are you today?
I am good. I've been watching listening and feeling your energy while I was watching backstage, and it's just so contagious. So I love it. So thank you for having me.
Well, it's my pleasure and honor to have you. I love to bring on dynamic women like you who are so well accomplished and are doing such great in the world and really making women stand out, which is what this theme is about today. We wanted it to be about you just standing out. So, all right. So tell us a little bit about you. Wait, before you do, let me share a little bit more about you. So Judy is the president of Selling in a Skirt, which is a company focused on empowering professional women. She's an award-winning international speaker, best-selling author, trainer, and leading authority on women in leadership and sales. With over 3 decades in business, she combines wisdom and humor with her behavior shaping strategies, and is often described as a transformational, it cut off. I'm sure expert, guru, or some powerful word like that. I don't know why I cut cut off there. But anyway, she was named one of 14 sales pros building trust from LinkedIn, Coach of the Year from Powerful Professionals, and selected as one of the 10 inspirational, accomplished, and engaging women of Tarrant County in 2023. You're on a mission, Judy, to help one woman a day by following an important philosophy that women want to be treated equally, not identically. Wow. What a beautiful mission. Yeah.
Well, it just makes sense to me because I always wanted somebody that would say, let me support you, let me help you. And I never had that. I never had that. So if I can help one woman a day, and almost all the time when I say it, whether I'm a guest on a show or on my show or speaking, to hundreds of women, there's one woman that will raise her hand and say, can I be your woman today? And that's very humbling.
Oh, that is beautiful. I love that. I love that. All right, so let's talk. Let's get to the beginning. I mean, I want to know the background. How did you become an expert at what you do? What was your journey? And I love transformation. So let's talk about that too.
Well, it really is, when they say been there, done that, because that's what it is. This is all about my experience, where I came from. I worked in all male dominated industries, starting with commercial roofing, to burglar alarms, to copiers, to financial services. And I was either the only or one of the only.
Wow. Yes.
So
especially in those industries. Yes.
Right. And I don't even know how it happened. It just happens. I think things happen for a reason. And so from that, I started out on the bottom, working my way to the top, and created strategies that worked for me, because none of the men that I worked with was sharing their strategies that worked for me. So for me, it was more about survival in the beginning, and then figuring out it is different the way men and women work and speak and question and everything else. But it's okay, because it's just different. It's not right or wrong. It's just different. And when you accept those differences as assets rather than liabilities, just imagine what we can do together.
Yes. What have been some of the hurdles or challenges in those environments? And then what was the process that maybe you created that was able to allow you to work in these, coexist in these environments?
Some of the challenges were really more for me internally, because being the only woman, I made assumptions that people would say this about me, or people would think that about me. And if they knew how smart I was, because I truly believe I'm pretty intelligent, then they would think that I was being a braggart. And if I didn't know something and I asked a question, then they would think I was unsure of who I was, and I'd have to ask questions and everything. So the problem for me was I was very uncomfortable speaking out and speaking up, because it wasn't comfortable for me. And through my entire career and my entire life, I always wanted to be seen as intelligent.
Yes.
And I've had lots of baggage in my life telling me that I was nothing more than pretty, and that just is not, that's not where I want to be. So the way to get around it is I worked with coaches, and then I did a lot of work for myself, because for me, I had to rewind the tapes. I had to change the narrative in my story, because the story I was telling was a story. It was about me, but it wasn't my story. And I didn't realize that till maybe a year ago, that the story I had been sharing was a story, but not my story. And it's not my story anymore.
That's so huge right now. Oh my gosh. So much I want to say about this. I love so many pieces of this. It's interesting. I have a client right now that I'm working with, phenomenal dynamic woman, which she's building is amazing. I'm so excited seeing what's happening with us, together as this is exploding for her. But she said the same thing. What happened to her when she was young is she got bullied because she got good grades.
Mm-hmm.
And that will dim your light, when you were the pretty one. So you couldn't possibly be the smart one, because those labels are, I honestly believe it's not malicious. It's not intentional. It comes from well-being people. They think they're doing us justice, or maybe it is negative. It's both ends. Okay. Either scenario, when you are told something in your youth, whether you're a young child or you're, tween years, teen years, young adults, that the damage that gets done is so detrimental. So, of course, you're in these environments and you're making assumptions, like you said. I'm assuming that they're thinking this about me.
Right. Right.
I'm just this dumb, pretty woman. If I show my true intelligence, that might intimidate them in some way. And as nurturers, women naturally are, we are designed we want peace everywhere, right? And not necessarily as a people pleaser, but we don't want, our nature isn't to make waves, right? So at least the women in my life.
But it's true. But what happens is that you end up not being who you truly are. And so you're not being authentic to you, yourself, or anybody else. And because I already knew that the men didn't want me there anyway, because I would
Right.
hear them talking about me behind my back. They would say, she's such a girl. She asks too many questions. She takes too long on appointments, blah, blah, blah. And I would finally say to them, why don't you just say it to me instead of about me?
Yeah.
And, so that kind of stopped some of that chatter. But when you're in sales, there's only one way to measure, and that's with numbers. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter if you're pretty, ugly, fat, skinny, it doesn't matter. If you don't have numbers, you don't exist. And when my numbers were soaring, all of a sudden I became uninvisible. I became the visible person now. And they would say, how did you do that? How did you make this happen? How do people stay on the books? Blah, blah, blah. And so it started to shift, but it didn't shift enough. It shifted to so where it was more tolerable and they were more civil to me. And once I started getting promoted, they had no option but to either work with or not.
Yes.
You
Yes.
know,
Wow. So, what do you attribute your rockin' sales qualities to?
I truly believe that the biggest secret about sales is to stop selling. Don't sell. How about, I mean, this is a crazy, crazy idea. How about if you have a conversation? I mean, really, just have a conversation, be interested in someone, not interesting to them, and ask questions. What about that? And so if I asked you a bunch of questions, Diane, because I was really interested in you, you're going to feel more comfortable and you're going to start giving me the responses that I'm going to be able to do something with you. Like you were talking about your client working with her. That's what I do. It's all about relationships. And because of that, I create these very deep relationships with people. And even if I don't work with them today or tomorrow, we generally end up doing something together, whether it's with them it directly or as a referral from them. It doesn't matter, but the relationships are very strong. And if I need something, like if I said today, okay, I'm tired, I don't want to do this anymore, I have a big enough network of people that I trust and they trust me that they would say, have you called this person? Have you tried this? Did you want to go here? Who do you need to meet? So it's all about relationships. And that's the truth. That's it for sales.
I could not agree more. I think sales is fun and it's service. And when you chase, it runs away. It's like you chasing a dog. If you're
Right.
chasing the dog's going to run. And I love that's law of attraction too. If you're chasing anything, it's
That's right.
going to run. And there's no satisfaction in a like quick, I coerced, I convinced, I cajoled somebody to buy my thing. That always backfires.
Right.
Always backfires.
They'll leave you. They will leave you when they find something else or someone else or whatever. It's not,
Yes.
coercion doesn't, manipulation, it doesn't work. It doesn't,
Yeah.
I mean, that's not true sales.
Right. Right.
So
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So, um, what's been for you, especially over these last few years? And, we've had a lot of change and turmoil. I know you're, big on speaking and presenting and training, and we went through the whole pandemic. How did you transition your business, your message, how you serve the world in the last few years?
Okay, so my business is a triangle. It's speaking, coaching, training. That's my triangle. If it doesn't fit in one of those points, then I'm not doing it, because I have to be very clear about what my message is. But the day of the pandemic started March 10th, 2020. My calendar was filled for the rest of the year for speaking, and by 3 o'clock that afternoon, it was completely empty. And so, and I always tell people, I gave myself permission to wallow in it for a moment. And I did. I went to bed, I cried, blah, blah, blah. My business is going to die and I'm just going to lose everything. And then after about 20 minutes, I got up and said, okay, now what am I going to do? And so one of the very first things I did was I helped women build community and connection, because that's what we were missing at that moment. And we knew it. So going from March 20th into April, we decided to do a panel of women, executive women. This was in financial services. And it was because in financial services, you were always told you can't do anything over the phone. It has to be in person. Well, now you don't have that option. And so we did this panel, and it wasn't a woe is me panel. It was, how do you change? How do you, strategize? What can we do? And so it was really very uplifting. And we had about 150 to 200 women that showed up. And we had 4 speakers, and that was it. We were done. It was great. Everybody loved it, until that night when I got the phone calls and the texts and the emails. Can I be on your panel next time? Who's going to be on the panel? When is the next one? It ended up going 13 weeks.
Wow.
So each week, 4 speakers. And during the reunion, we had over 800 women show up. We had every speaker there were people from across the world that were there. And what I found was it was the connection and the community. So everything that I did, I redid virtually. And I created programs that weren't even on the radar. And today I'm still using those programs, because they're wonderful, because it does exactly what women are looking for: connection and community. And so that's really how I got through it, because otherwise I would have been laying in bed like everybody else was doing, and just crying and thinking, okay, when this is going to be over? It is going to be done in a month. But 2 years later, I would still be crying if I didn't take some action, because you have to figure out. If you can't figure it out yourself, there are people that can help you, whether it's a coach, whether it's a mentor, whether it's, a peer, whether it's somebody in your family. But you don't have to worry about looking weak, or, it was a scary time. No one has ever been through this before. So,
yes. One of the things that you said that I really loved is that you wallowed, but you wallowed for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
That's a sign of someone who's been through stuff in life. When you honor yourself, you have the good cry, have the good scream, punch the pillow, whatever it is, like go fall to your knees, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
But then get yourself up, brush yourself off, and go, now what? True leadership is that. True entrepreneurial spirit, true service is, no, this isn't taking me down. Are you kidding? And that's a testament to your skills and your talents with everything that you're doing.
It's really about resilience, though. That's a big word that everybody's using, but the truth of the matter is more women had to be resilient than anything, because it wasn't just their careers. Now they were told their spouse or partner is going to be home, and their kids are going to be home. And guess what? You have to help them do schoolwork all day long, and they have to be on Zoom, and you've got to be on Zoom, and your husband has to be on Zoom. Okay, how do we do all of that? So it was all of this stuff. And that's why, when we would have these panels, or I would just do, a broadcast about whatever, women were there because they needed it. There was no other option for them. So
yes, they definitely needed the outlet. They needed the support, because they were now all of a sudden, full-time wife, full-time mother, school teacher, short order cook,
nurse,
maid, all the things.
Yeah.
All the things. Yeah. Oh, thinking about it now, I just send prayers and love to all the women who did it. Yeah. And it's a testament of strength. Well, it was great that you provided that opportunity for people, and you took that. I like that you have your business so defined and clear. So who exactly do you work with now? I know your background was you worked at all these companies, but who specifically are these CEO women? Are these women in corporate? Are these entrepreneurs? Who are these women that you're working with?
So I have my entrepreneurs over here. Okay. There's always programs that are running for them, but I have been called, and I don't know if it was a tap on the shoulder, a whisper in my ear, whatever you want to call it, but I have been called to be working with executive women. So it is C-suite women, it is executive women in leadership. And most of the time it is in the corporate arena. And that's really who I'm supposed to be with right now. And I can't tell you why, how, but when you know where you're supposed to be, you move where you're supposed to be. And that's not like I'm saying, okay, no, I'm not going to ever talk to entrepreneurs again, because these are my people. Yeah. I grew up with, we all grew up as entrepreneurs together. So that's just, that's a different part of my business. And now I'm really into the corporate space.
Yes, important takeaway for everyone who's watching or listening. You follow that and you trust that, and then you stay in your lane. You stay in your lane. Don't try to be someone who's there for everybody, because you end up being there for nobody. That's right. And that's smaller, when you find that lane, like me too. I was helping predominantly women, but men were in there too, launch their shows. And what I was finding is the women, many of the women who were coming were not ready for the level that I'm at. They're not. So now I have a course for them. Here's a do-it-yourself. You barely have experience. Your business is just getting going. You can't, you're not at the level for this yet. This is too much for you. Start here, so that I could stay focused on the women who are right for where we're going in business. And it just, when you get that clarity, it just makes your life so much easier. You know exactly who you're talking to. So back to your point about, I'm not selling. I'm very clear on who it is. You either you're ready for this, or you're not ready for this, right?
Right. But your messaging is clear, and that's why. Because people will qualify or disqualify themselves because they are not ready. And who wants to go into something that you're so not ready for that you will not be able to succeed at the level you want to? There's nothing wrong with that. You have to, sometimes you have to start over here to get over here,
Right. You don't start running today and book yourself the marathon in 2 weeks. You start running today and you book the 5K in about a month or so. Right. Right. Yeah. To know where you are and feel good about it. So what are some tips that you can give women who are listening and watching this today, who are in this space? They're predominantly surrounded by men, and they're feeling like they're not getting treated equally, not identically, but equally. What strategies, just a few, that you can share with us today to help her, move to that position that she wants to be, in terms of the confidence, let alone the title.
Right. And it's not always about the title or the confidence. Sometimes it is a combination, but you have to remember, people can't read your mind. They can't read your mind. If you want something, you need to talk about it. You need to ask the right people. You need to start, having that dialogue, because I know a lot of the women that I work with, they will tell me they got passed over for a promotion. And the first question I said is, how did that happen? And they always say, they didn't know I wanted it. Well, you have to start having that conversation with people and saying to your manager, your supervisor, I would really love to be able to get to this. How would I get there? Can you show me the way? So that's one of the things, because people are not mind readers. And then you get upset, and then they get upset, and then there's this whole thing in the office and everybody's upset with each other. So let people know what you want. The second thing is, don't be afraid to let people know that you can be a resource for them. A lot of times we're looking for somebody that can do part of our, the things that are on our desk that we don't really need to do, that someone else can be doing it. Or there's a project and you can use someone else's input. Be a resource for people. And then the other thing is, if you work for a company, a lot of times they have an internal newsletter. How about if you ask, can I, write an article? Can I give some kind of insight into something that's going on? Because all of a sudden your name starts coming up. So people start to see that, oh, I didn't know anything about Diane Forster. Oh, here she is again. Oh, here she is again. So if you start to bring some awareness to yourself, either by writing something or contributing or doing a project or volunteering, sometimes that's all you need is that little push. And then you have the confidence to go after it. So it's just, like little baby steps that you have to take sometimes, but it's okay because you're taking a step forward. So it's really not the perfection that we all like to, I'm a recovering perfectionist. It's really more about the progress. It's really about doing something. So the same way that I went to bed for 20 minutes and got up, the same thing. Figure out something that you want, take that baby step, take your 20 minutes, wallow in it, and then get yourself up and say, okay. And if you can't do it by yourself, don't be afraid to ask for help. I never had a coach going through my 30 years in sales. Never had a coach. Never. There were no female coaches. None. So, once I found out that people do use coaches, first thing I did was when I, left the industry, I got a coach. I found a female coach and she really kicked my butt, but in a loving way. She knew exactly what I needed. She knew exactly what I could get away with. And she was amazing. So don't be afraid to invest in yourself.
I love that advice. Yeah, I've had coaches for, my full entrepreneur before I was even an entrepreneur, when I was still at ABC. It's interesting when you were telling that story. When I was still in corporate at ABC, I pitched a job. And I really, I'm using air quotes for those listening, really wanted it. And I did in many, many ways. It was going to be the thing that got me out of Chicago and into San Diego. It was with ABC. It was at the local ABC affiliate in LA. And it was a great, great position. And he ended up going with somebody in the national sales office, but who was locally right there. In the market and in the building. And it was definitely and I'm just going to say it, it was like a golfing buddy thing.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a good old boys thing. And I was really, really upset. I had tenure over this guy, and not that he's not a good guy, the guy who got the position, but, and I was really upset about it. And of course I'm grateful because that would have totally changed the trajectory of my life. I would not have done what I did and then moved to San Diego and been where I am today because I'd have been so loyal to that role. And so the point I want to make is you definitely go for these jobs. There's another thing. There's this opportunity for me that I can't share right now, but I was sharing this with my daughter for this role. And it's a big role. And I said, I don't think that I'm going to take that. I think I'll take an advisory position or something. I'm just not sure that I'm equipped for that. And my daughter said to me, Mom, a man would take that job in a minute. He wouldn't care. And I went, oh, you're so right. That's part of our programming.
Well, yeah, but think about it, for Diane. If there's one thing that I know, because I worked with Monster and I worked with Indeed and all of them, if you read something, a job description, and you were not 100% qualified, you would not. And I know there's some women that'll say, well, I would. Okay, but the majority would not apply for it. Where a man, who all he needs is like 40, 50%, and he's in. And that's one of the things that we as women, we don't even take the chance. I mean, I applied for a job when I graduated college. I was a teacher, and of course, all the teachers got laid off. And so I applied for a job in a Canadian bank on Wall Street. And it was at the head of the accounting department. The only course I did not take in college was accounting.
Wow.
Now, remember, it's back, a million years ago. We didn't have computers. It was not, it wasn't an abacus, but you basically, you didn't have, you had nothing. You basically counted and you did real math. And I remember going on the interview, and the question that they asked after this whole interview is, why do you think you're the right person? And I said, honestly, I know people. I do. I know people and I know how they work. The only thing that I would need is like a week or two just to get to know your system. Because in accounting, really left and right, they have to balance out. And she
Right.
said, well, that's brilliant. Nobody ever made it that simple. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't know anything else about accounting. They have to balance. And I got the job. I
Wow.
got the job. And so that's what I'm saying. There was the one time in my life that I never thought about anything. All I knew is that I was laid off as a teacher and I needed to get a job. And that's what I did. But it was the most bizarre way of getting a job because I knew nothing, like zero. But at that time, it was okay because you didn't have to, you'd figure it out and people gave you a chance. But it was quite interesting. So
it is really interesting. I hope all the women that are hearing this are rethinking decisions that, you know what, go apply for the job,
yeah,
go apply for the loan, go apply for the business license, go apply for the patent, go. One of the greatest things about this journey is the fact that you don't know.
right.
And that you get to discover along the way. If you knew everything there was, where would be the magic and the excitement in the experience? There wouldn't be.
No, nope.
So we need to stop holding ourselves back. If you're a woman listening to this and watching this, you are already a leader. You are a leader. You're the leader of your life. You're probably the leader of your household. You're probably in terms of if you're a parent or any role like that, you've got these leadership skills. And I personally, Judy, am spending more of my time around men who really support women. They say hands down, women are the leaders.
That's right.
Females need to run the world. What they would do with this world. And then I'm not saying anything negative about men. I absolutely love men, but that old paradigm needs to really shift more. And it's not one versus the other. It's like you said, we want to do this together.
Right.
We want it to be collaborative. We want to create connection. We want to have even community with them. We want to be treated equal, not identically, like you said. We want that level of respect. And it does go both ways. It definitely goes both ways. And my invitation to any of the men who are hearing this, because I do have male viewers and listeners, is to be open to the opportunity and the possibility that maybe we could be expanding more and more of our greatness will be enhanced by understanding each other all better, by having that open communication.
That's really important. And one of the things when you asked like who I'm really working with, one of the things that I should have said then, but I'm going to say it now, is I look for companies that are already investing in women. Not the ones that you have to twist their arm and throw out all the statistics about why women, because they're not going to do anything. They'll say, well, here's $100, go take people to lunch or something ridiculous like that. Or you can you can come in and talk for 15 minutes because that's going to change the world. No, it won't. The truth of the matter is there are a lot of men. Those are my male champions, my male advocates. Those are the men that are working with and for women. And so those companies that are saying, we invest in our women because we know the value. That's very different than, really, why would I invest in women? So because it's already working with men, why do we need women? I love men. I'm married to one, so I'm excited about that. And he's a big champion for me. He is, and he talks about me sometimes where I'm like, all right, stop already. Really, you don't need to talk that much. I know, and that's what he said. Why should I stop? So so the point is that there are many men that are champions of women, and any of you that are listening, we encourage that. That's the best thing that can happen, because a lot of times you are the ones that open doors for women figuratively and literally, but you're also the ones that understand how important that relationship is. So
that is so well said, because you know what, men, do champion women, because women do champion you. And for me, and I love men too. Love men. I think men are amazing, but I love a man. I think there's one of the sexiest things in the world is a man who is smart, successful, well dressed, handsome, and madly in love with his wife. Like, he's gushes about her. When I meet men like that, I'm like, oh, what a great man.
Yeah.
What a beautiful relationship they have, and how lucky is she. Now, always feel like, oh, how amazing is that? I love that. Okay, so we have just a couple more minutes. So one of the things I want to ask you is, I ask all my guests this question, and I didn't tee you up for this before, so I'm teeing you up now. But I ask everybody, how do you live the I have today way, which is intentionally in the present moment? And if you could start your answer with, I have today too.
I have today to live intentionally in everything I do. And that is, I know that intentionally is your jam, but I'm going to say I do it all the time. The people I connect with, the people I connect for, the people I work with, the people that I put before me, and the people that work with me side by side. I'm intentional with my time. I want to say that intentionality is really about passion and purpose. So everything that I do is extremely intentional, because you only have a short time on this planet. Mm-hmm. And so I want to make sure that what I'm doing is with the right people, for the right reason, always. So that's what I have today.
Beautiful. Beautifully said. I love that.
Thank you.
Yes. Well, it's all about the art of intentional living around here. And that's my message for everybody too, and our journey is short. We just had a family member pass away, and 60 years young, and life is so fleeting. And so the message is, don't keep your mouth shut. Keep yourself speaking. Ask for what you want. Go after your dreams. Mm-hmm. Be resilient. There's no job or opportunity that's too big for you, and so many other things.
Or too small for you.
True. So true. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is very, very true. So, Judy, is there one final piece of advice that you would like to share with everybody?
Yeah, my favorite piece of advice is really to know your people. And what that means is know the people that are around you. If you are if you work in a company, know your people that work for you, because why are they there? What makes them tick? What are the things that keep them there, and what would make them want to leave? If you're an entrepreneur, know the people around you that you can count on, because being an entrepreneur is very lonely. And if you don't have a team, and most of us don't, we're solopreneurs, and maybe you have a VA. I have a VA. That's my big team. But the truth of the matter is, you have to know the people that you can count on. You need to know the people that, are going to have your back. And one of the things that I always did, whether I was hiring somebody or somebody new was coming on our team or whatever it was when I was in corporate, I would always ask about their expectations. Like, what are 3 things you expect from me? And what 3 things can I expect from you? And so I would know all about them. And when they say, well, I would like to get to that next level, I would like a promotion, at least I would know. And I would say, you know what, let me help you with the journey. So I would know all my people, but I would also know their families, because if I asked them to do something on a weekend with me, like a trade show or anything like that, their family would know who they were with, and I would know what their family would think about it. So know your people is it's a big topic, but it's really important.
That is huge. And you should know your people. They are everything. So, all right, Judy. Well, this has been a fantastic time. How can people find out more information about you? And we're going to.
there it is. My website is sellinginasskirt.com. There's lots of things that you can read, watch, listen, download, whatever. So that's that. And if you want to connect with me personally, just go onto LinkedIn. I'm Judy Hoberman, and I am happy to respond to you personally. Nobody touches my emails or my LinkedIn or anything like that. So I would love to connect with you.
That's great. All right. One more humorous little tidbit about you is Judy is famous for her jackets. She's got quite a collection. How many jackets do you have? Have you counted them?
I haven't counted, but I'm in Dallas. So to wear a leather jacket, I was going to wear one today, but it was 50 degrees this morning, so I could have gotten away with it. But, I'm famous for leather jackets, but I do like Joseph Ribkoff anyway. But so, yeah, I must have, I don't know how many, I don't know. And boots. I have boots, and I don't wear boots in my house. Otherwise I would show you my boots.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, I love it. I love everything about you. Congratulations for all of your success. Thank you for empowering our audience today and all the lives that you touch.
Thank you.
The work is fantastic. And you are truly one woman that stands out in leadership and sales. So
thank you.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being here. We'll see you soon. All right.
Okay. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Bye. All right, that was amazing. So I hope you guys got a lot of tidbits. I'm going to tie all this together in the upcoming mantra meditation that we're going to do at the end in just a few minutes. So stick around for that. All right. So one of the ways I lead and sell actually is I help women like you launch and star in your own TV show, creating your own platform. And what it's done for me in my career as someone who's been in advertising and TV for 40 years has really been a game changer for me. I don't like that word, game changer, but still, it is a game changer, and it's opened up a lot of doors and a lot of opportunities. And look at the incredible people I get to bring to this show and this platform to help you on your journey to be living an intentional life, personally and professionally. So, what I did is I created a master class, and it's the 5 shifts you need to make to become a dynamic TV show host. And you can earn 5, 6, even 7 figures in your business, even if you have no experience. So I'm speaking to you, if you're listening out there, if you are a coach, you are an expert, you are an author, a speaker, maybe even a podcaster, and you want to learn what having a television show can do for your business, how easy it is to start, how much you can leverage it and monetize it, what a valuable asset it is, and what it does for your credibility, then I'm going to invite you to go watch my free masterclass. Come and attend it and spend about 30, 45 minutes with me and learn how it can really up-level your business and your brand and your career. And that is at tvstarhost.com, tvstarhost.com. So go there and check it out, and I will see you inside the masterclass. All right. Okay. So with our last few minutes, I want to thank Judy for being here. I want to thank all of you for staying to the end. This is the most powerful part of our show. We are going to do the mantra meditation. And the reason why we do this, it's like our intention statement at the beginning. In order to make real, permanent, positive change in your life, it's through rewiring your subconscious mind, not running off of that old programming that's been running your whole life, that 95% that's happening in the subconscious. And it's through repetition. It's through thoughts, feelings, language, emotions. So that's what we're going to do right now. So if this is your first time, get ready for this. If you are driving, you cannot close your eyes. You can listen to what we're doing, but please pay attention to the road. For everybody else, please stop multitasking right now. We're just going to just give me 3 minutes of your time. We're going to get you grounded. We're going to get you present. We're going to get you empowered. And most importantly, we're going to get you intentional. So we're going to do what I call my process of the rainbow breaths. We're going to breathe in for the count of 4 through your nose. You're going to pull that air all the way down to your tailbone, which is where your root chakra is. Then you're going to hold it for the count of 8. And as you're counting to 8, I want you to send energy to each one of your chakras. Just imagine those chakras lighting up. Your root chakra, your sacral chakra, your solar plexus, your heart, your throat, your third eye, your crown, and your soul star, which sits about a foot or so above your head. Very important chakra. That clears away the residue. That opens up the Akashic records. That allows you to receive the ideas, the information, the guidance. It's magical. Okay. So once we count to 8, then I want you to blow it out through your mouth as if you are blowing out birthday candles. Blow hard like that. And imagine that any toxic memory, experience, trauma, anything negative, any negative emotions, all of that is coming up and out of your body. So here's the magic of this process. You've just now sent healing energy to all of your chakras, which are connected to everything in your body. This is so incredibly healing. And then when you're breathing out, you are getting rid of all the toxicity. This is magic. This process keeps me so healthy. I can't even tell you. And everyone who does it experiences the same thing. So we're going to do this 2 times, this breath 2 times, and then all you have to do is listen to the words. By the way, if you want this more detail about this rainbow breath meditation, it's in my first book I have today. So I'm holding it up right now. This is available on Amazon. You can go get your copy there. I explain the whole process in there. So, all right. So here we go. Everybody, feet flat on the floor. Put your hands on your lap. Keep them flat down if you feel grounded, or turn them up if you want energy. You want to receive more energy. Close your eyes. And here we go. I want you to breathe in through your nose for the count of 4. Pull it to your root chakra. Hold it and send the energy as we count to 8 to each one of your chakras. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Breathe it out for 8. Get rid of all that toxicity. Here we go. Let's do it again. Breathe in for the count of 4 through your nose, all the way down to the root, and count to 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and breathe it out. You should feel really good. Just listen to the words. I have today to love my life. Something really good is going to happen to me today. I can feel it. Miracles, big and small, I notice them all. Yes, 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 thank you. I have today to stand out as a leader in my career. In fact, I have today to stand out as a leader in my life. I know that people can't read my mind, so I am going to let them know what I want. I am not taking a back seat in my life any longer. I can be a resource for people. I can volunteer. I can step up and use all my powerful skills in my life to step up into the leadership roles that I was intended to receive. I'm going to apply for the jobs. I am going to treat everyone with kindness and respect. I am going to do what I can to create that open connection, collaboration, and community, because I know that women just want to be treated equally, not identically. We want to marry these relationships together so that we can build long-term, lasting partnerships and relationships, and collectively together help as many people as possible. I'm not going to hold on to stories that are no longer my stories anymore, just like Judy let go. I realize that there is a lot of old programming that I am carrying around from my childhood of beliefs that I wasn't allowed to speak up. I wasn't allowed to use my voice. I wasn't allowed to be intelligent. I wasn't allowed to be this powerful being. And those are somebody else's beliefs. They are no longer mine. I'm going to release that and let that go, as I just did with those rainbow breaths. I'm saying bye-bye to that version of me. I am now going to make the changes and the pivots in my life, just like Judy did, and many, many people did. I am going to use my power of resilience to create the kind of life that I want in all areas of my life, not just my career. I am good with standing out. I am good with being in my power. I honor and respect myself and love myself. And by doing that, I spread that energy to every person I meet. And I'm here to live this life full out, as authentic and as wide as I possibly can, and touch as many lives as I possibly can, even if it's just one person a day. That's how I'm going to live intentionally. And so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I want to thank my guest, Judy Hoberman, for being here today. It was an amazing experience. If you want to find out more information, we will have that in the show notes. Thank you to all who've been here. If you watch this live, put in the comments section that you saw it live. If you're catching the replay, then write replay. And this is Diane Forster. You can find out more about me on social media at Diane Forster Official, and go to my website, dianeforster.com. I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.